What's going on, guys? So, I'm going to do something a bit different than I usually do on any of my channels. I'm going to upload this to all three of my channels, try to get the word out a little bit. So, for those who don't recognize this guy here, well, actually, a lot of people probably wouldn't recognize him because we don't tend to see his face on camera when he's doing work. But he is Mark from the channel Totally Not Mark, and he is a YouTube creator, a reviewer of anime and manga as it goes, and also a creator of different things entirely within the universe of anime and manga. And his channel is being utterly decimated by copyright claims from Toei. Toei is the one who creates Dragon Ball, creates One Piece, and over the years he has dealt with issues directly, here and there, having videos taken down. But in this particular case, he is getting absolutely destroyed. And I'm going to let him talk in his own words. This is just me redoing his video, and then I want to talk about the system itself after he's done explaining what's going on with him. But this is a very, very important discussion about YouTube's content ID system and their copyright system, and this is a massive, massive representation of how it is utterly abused and used to target and destroy content creators. Like, I'm no one. Mark has been around for a long time. He has an incredible following and has created an incredible channel and, in his own words, his own company that he relies on heavily just to survive. So I'm going to let him talk about this, and then I'm going to talk about it in my own right regarding myself and my different channels here on YouTube within myself. So, with no more ado.
Hey guys, my name is Mark Fitzpatrick and my career is in jeopardy. Due to the ongoing trouble, this video serves as my official response and open letter to the company responsible, Toei Animation. Over the last 24 hours, I've sat back in disbelief, shock, and sorrow as my life's work has been unfairly ripped away from me. And in this video, I will detail the current standing of my channel, why YouTube's content ID system is fundamentally broken, how Toei Animation are clearly abusing it, and why they will always get away with it if nothing is done to combat this problem. I will try to keep it as brief as possible, and I hope you will afford me your time, as at this moment, this video is the last and only option I have available left to me. 2 nights ago, I received an email notifying me that 15 of my videos had been copyright claimed and blocked by Toei Animation. 1 hour later, that number rose to 28, and when I woke up this morning, it had reached a total of 150 videos that my audience now can no longer see and that I cannot monetize. To put that into perspective, because myself and my team work on a single video per week, that equates to almost 3 years worth of work, and as a result, the main source of my company's income is now gone. I find this particularly devastating because I have a family to provide for, I have full-time employees to look after, and on top of everything else, it's Christmas. So, let's start with the content ID system. I take my job very seriously. Because of this, I ensure that both myself and my employees adhere strictly to the fair dealings and fair use policies as outlined by YouTube and within my own country and other countries. I am shocked and appalled that I, someone that tirelessly dedicates himself to a fair use practice, has to accept and bend the knee as my life's work gets obliterated before me by a massive company that clearly has no regard or respect for the rules outlined by YouTube themselves. I write reviews. I criticize, analyze, and share what I know about stories. That's my job. It's a job that exists across radio, podcast, television, and a host of other mediums, all of which don't have to contend with the same insane treatments those that produce on YouTube do. YouTube shouldn't have different rules, and yet Stephen Colbert can produce a video last weekend that includes 100% more Toei animation footage than some of the videos that were claimed by Toei from me, all without adhering to the fair use policy and getting shared to millions of people across the world. While Toei take it upon themselves to willfully ignore that and personally nuke my entire channel that actively succeeds in being transformative, eliminating years of hard work in the process. This isn't right. I'm not just one guy in his bedroom. I am the head of a small business that employs some of the hardest working individuals I know. People I am proud to employ. People that have families and dependents that they need to provide for this Christmas. Now, I've spoken in general terms concerning YouTube's Content ID being broken, so let me actually show you how it's broken right now. I've tried reaching out to YouTube, and time and again, they gave me nothing, which leaves me with effectively one course of action: the YouTube appeal system. When a video is claimed, I am given the option right away to dispute that claim, and when I dispute it, the claimant, in this case TOEI, has 30 days to respond with their decision. That's right. The company that put the claim there in the first place, with no incentive to be honest or thorough in this instance, gets to decide the legitimacy of my dispute. Naturally, this gets denied, and that often takes as many as 30 days. After that, we move on to the second step. Remember, this is still just for one video, and this second step is called counterclaim. When I submit a counterclaim, YouTube once again gives TOEI ample time to review for another 30 days, during which they again get to decide whether or not my claim is valid. And when they inevitably and arbitrarily decide that it's not, my channel then gets a strike. Which brings us to the last step, counter notifications. This is the phase where YouTube gets directly involved and we enter the legal arena. Once I submit this counter notification, effectively alerting TOEI of my desire to bring them to court, they have 15 days to respond, and here's the kicker: they never respond. And by default, my video gets reinstated, which means they claimed my video, prevented me from taking that revenue, killed its momentum, and put me under a tremendous amount of stress for effectively nothing. And that was all to get one single video back. And I have repeated this process over the last 18 months to get 6 or so videos back. Unfortunately, with the way YouTube system works, you cannot appeal multiple videos at once, especially because it incurs strikes of which you are allowed very few before your channel gets terminated. And so, as a result, in order for me to get all 150 of my videos that were wrongfully claimed and blocked reinstated, I would need to follow this process for over 37 years. And despite knowing that all of these videos will eventually be reinstated, I need to follow this bureaucratic dance well into my late 60s. That is entirely unacceptable at best and career ending at worst. And if that wasn't enough to show you how crooked TOEI have been and how flawed YouTube's system really is, of the 150 videos that were claimed and blocked worldwide, 9 of them are drawing videos. Some of these took countless hours of work across numerous days to finish, and here's the kicker: they didn't use any, and I repeat, any footage from TOEI. And even if they had, they're still, by their very nature, transformative. Heck, that is literally the purpose of these videos. This, therefore, highlights that TOEI did not bother to do their due diligence, which is required, according to YouTube, to actually watch the videos to determine their standing with regards to fair use. And so, effectively, if Dragon Ball was in the title, it was removed. They clearly didn't watch any of these videos, and I know this because they took down over 50 hours worth of content in a few hours, oftentimes only seconds apart. And the irony of this is, TOEI actually approached me themselves earlier this year to help them promote a series of concerts they were looking to hold across the Americas, which I think highlights a fundamental and horrid hypocrisy in this circumstance. In one breath, TOEI is happy to take down 150 of my videos for quite literally no reason, and in the next breath, they see me as a great mechanism or vessel for promoting their works. Which is it? Either YouTube creators serve as a vessel for promotion or we don't, but it can't be both. In conclusion, the videos that were targeted were One Piece and Dragon Ball related. These are stories that are incredibly important to me. It's what got me into YouTube in the first place, and I refuse to let it be the reason I'm pushed out. I want these videos back. They are an important part of what brings new viewers to my channel and what ultimately contributed to this company's success. Moving forward, I will be re-uploading supercuts of these removed review series. However, with regards to new content, it saddens me to say it, but I won't be supporting any Dragon Ball release until such time this wrong has been righted. This includes the upcoming film Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I cannot, in good conscience, support a company that actively disrespects, despises, and destroys its own community like this. Toei Animation, you do not have my support, and if what I've said here today has resonated with any of you at all watching, I encourage both creators and viewers alike to join me in solidarity and not support this film. Now, I understand that many creators out there need to create content surrounding these properties, and I wouldn't dream of asking you to stop. But what I will say is that I have been made an example of here. This was targeted to send a message. Toei has effectively told us that they have a gun to the head of every single person covering their material. And if they so choose, regardless of their content, they can pull the trigger whenever they want without repercussions. So, I say to you all, we are Toei's source of income. And what they are doing is abusive. We have the power to make them listen. And if you stand with me on this, wonderful. But if you can't, know that I completely understand. Regardless, I cannot and will not support this company after what they have done. It's such a terrifying thought that a villainous company like this is responsible for one of the most uplifting and treasured parts of my childhood. It's a soul destroying thought. As my closing statement, I'd like to give YouTube some actionable advice. Instead of investing resources into the removal of a feature that no one on this platform wanted to be removed, the dislike button, consider a reworking of your content ID system to at least expedite this outrageously slow and corrupt process that these companies are consistently, openly, and willfully taking advantage of. I await your reply. Dragon Ball is all about pushing oneself to overcome challenges, and One Piece is all about shooting for your dreams no matter how crazy they might be. Toei isn't going to stop me, and Toei will not win. I've been Mark Fitzpatrick, and I thank you so much for your time.
So with Mark's incredible story and powerful words done there, basically, this is not a small problem. And even for this one creator, in and of himself, uh, as he put it, it's career ending. And it is. I mean, he talked about just being some one guy in his bedroom. That's me. I'm just one dude. I'm creating BS content here, reviewing dumb things, occasionally movies and anime series and stuff like that. And I'm no one. I don't depend on this for my livelihood. This is his job. This is the thing that supports his family, his company, himself, and even the fandom. And ultimately the company that is destroying him. Now, I want to be honest here and say that the copyright system doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be done away with. Now, are there laws and blah 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 blah? It doesn't matter because copyright law is different in every country. YouTube is a global system, a global company. This content ID system, it has been broken, and they have clearly made new changes very recently to it, and has caused problems for me directly, even here on my small channels. A video I made 5 years ago regarding top 15 emotional moments in TV, movies, and whatnot had been blocked because I used footage of a battle in Naruto. And normally I was using still images and things like that to really get across. But in this case, it was just this particular fight scene with me talking over it with the volume at maybe 2%. And I was talking about the actual thing, talking about the emotional resonance of the actual fight. That video from 5 years ago, while I believe there may have been a copyright claim on it, but I don't even think there was completely blocked. Now, nobody was really jumping at my videos. I don't get millions of views. I don't even get thousands of views on things like that. However, it was completely blocked. And that's to say it's an old video that people may or may not find. However, on the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel, my reaction channel, in this case reviewing and reacting to music videos and the like, I have had many videos, not just claimed, but blocked due to Sony, due to Universal, due to even smaller companies like Orchard Music in particular, who represents Avi Kaplan. I can no longer react to anything from Avi Kaplan because there is no good way to do so without the video getting blocked. Every single video I do that isn't just me talking to the camera gets claimed and is split by however many different things that I'm watching. I don't care about the claims. I'm not making a dime on that channel as it is. And even with copyright claims, you can go through the system, and fight it, just as Mark, sorry, I read a thing, apologies. Mark was talking about, with the way that the system works, your only recompense is to file a counterclaim, say that this is a transformative work, in my case, reaction, in his case, a very different situation, but he's still generally reviewing, criticizing, or even creating own new content, such as his drawing videos. For me, I'm generally doing, as many of you have seen if you watch my content, I'm reacting to or commenting on or reviewing and exploring the content therein. And every single time, say I watch 7 videos in a night, I would have to fight for all of those. Now, each one you can file a counterclaim at the same time. Once it gets past that and they deny your counter, then you have to go into the appeals process like he talked about. And that process is the one that risks your channel. Basically, they put it up there and say, look, if you do this, it could risk getting a strike, and that will take it down. And yeah, he is correct. You can't do more than one of those at a time. And when I had a video that has been blocked by multiple companies, or at least multiple times by the same company, then I would have to still wait a much longer time to appeal all of those. Now, the original copyright claim, most of them will back down. They'll even release the copyright claim because it is a reaction, it is a review video, things like that. And it's great when they do. Now, I had one very recently, in fact, it was the one with the Naruto video in it, that I filed a counter, and they never replied. If they don't reply, it immediately gets unblocked. But that's 30 days of no one being able to watch that video. In some cases, they will unblock it for that amount of time so that it can still be viewed, money can still be generated, but YouTube will take the money earned and hold it in escrow. Now, here's the problem with that, is that if you need that money, and it still takes 30 days, or even the extra 15 days that he claimed, for the appeals process, if you really need that money, and you may not get it in the end. And the real stupid thing about it is, claims years later on a video is the more absurd thing about it, because you've already made tons of money on it. It's a video that's probably not getting seen very much. For him, he's talking about videos that have been out for many, many years. You know, he talked about 3 years worth of work, you know, thrown together. And in my case, you know, something 5 years ago that isn't getting that many views gets taken down. But if a video that I literally just streamed the night before gets taken down, that kills all of my views. Now, mind you, I'm once again not monetized on that channel, but to get more subscriptions, to get enough viewing hours in, those videos need to be up. They need to have the exposure. This system is broken. It is corrupt, as he said, because it's one thing for the initial claimant to have seen that their work is out there being copied, and for them to file a stoppage/copyright claim. But YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, said, oh, we'll do that for you with our super smart AI programmed copyright bots. And it's actually pretty ridiculous. And in the case of what he's talking about, half of the videos, or a good chunk of the videos he used, are well within fair use. He's potentially not using a single frame of actual footage. There are ones that he definitely has where there is footage. In the drawing videos, for those to be taken down is absurd, because they're redrawing an image either from the anime or from the manga itself. They take a single frame that looks jacked for whatever reason and fixing it. And he's talking about literally it could only be identified via the title, because within the actual video contain no true copyrighted content. So that's why the system is broken. It can identify something off of keywords, it can identify something off of a single image, it can identify sounds, even if you take it down. I've had things claimed or blocked due to music that I use that I see in hundreds of videos, but because my channel was small and knew that there's no fight power there, or maybe I wouldn't know how, they stopped my video. I fought it, eventually got it released. But in the meantime, where do you go if your videos can't be monetized or can't be seen? So for a video that I did a couple weeks ago to have been blocked, then the block released while the claimant was supposed to check over it to see, and then come back and say, nope, we're not dropping the claim. It's exactly like he said. You know, it's like they're not doing their due diligence in this legal process, so that my video once again is blocked with the thing. Now, say artists like NF, his record label is horrendous about this. They won't release blocks, and you have to do things like cover the video or pause a lot to even get that. And for reactors and reaction type videos to be such a massive genre on this platform, to have no good way to get around this system, and this system is designed to basically, there should be a reason for this system. If you are directly stealing content from someone else, it was probably created originally for the music industry, for people who were re-uploading full CDs and albums and music videos, or people who were uploading entirely bootleg movies and things like that. That, sure. But for this is where, if you're gonna rework it, you have to change it for the benefit of creators and take it away from the corporations, because they're the ones who are ruining it. And usually it's the fans, like myself, like Mark, like everybody who does reaction or review videos on these type of contents, like movie reviews and stuff like that. I mean, huge channels like Channel Awesome, Nostalgia Critic, having videos taken down, like their entire Jurassic Park series of reviews taken down for the movie clips that they use in the video. But that ended up leading to a much more creative concept for them, which in turn is a buttload of work for them in particular. It turned into something new, but it doesn't make the initial idea right, because it is a review. If it says review reaction in the video, if you're doing your due diligence, if you're not showing long stints of a thing, if you're talking over scenes, if you've got your own music playing over it, if you have a filter put over a frickin' video, if you've got something that is less than a quarter of the screen, if it's on there for less than 10 seconds, all of these things, it should instantly be ignored by the system. You know? And in some cases, images could be taken down for the same reason. The system is destroying what used to make YouTube good, and I know they don't care, but that's the problem. And the only way they're going to be made to care is if you guys stand up for the creators, or if you're a creator yourself, you stand up for yourselves. And the only way you can do that is by hitting the ones, in this case, TOEI, hitting them where it hurts, and that's in their pocketbook. Now, I know some of you who are watching this are only watching it because it's me talking about a subject and you have no idea what he was talking about in his thing. If you know the movie he's talking about, the upcoming Dragon Ball Super movie, boycott it. If you're a creator who would normally review such a thing, don't. If anything, tell people to not. Do everything in your power to hit them where it hurts. And then they'll know and be like, look, we stand with Mark on this one. We stand with all of the independent creators who love your content and love what you have put into the world and want to talk about it. And we want to be the proper fans of it in this way, with discussing things, with showing it off, comparing, or in some cases, fixing mistakes, or fixing artwork problems. And if you're going to do your own fans this dirty through a copyright system that is also corrupt, incomplete, and in a lot of cases, just stupid, sorry, we're not going to give you that. No. You know, the same thing could go for Disney. The same thing could go for particular artists, you know. So, for instance, Home Fridays, home free reviews that I do on the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel, those things always get hit. They get claimed by, unless it's an independent video, generally speaking, they get claimed by whichever particular label they're with at the time of the music video or song that we're looking at. And while they're generally pretty cool about it and they actually want their fans, they want reactors to look at it, they have to be able to tell the system to instantly ignore their content or something. There has to be a solution where the claimant, on behalf of the automated system, can say, no, we're not going to do this to our fans. There has to be a way to say, do not search for our content, do not block anyone that is reacting to it, something. It's too much of an all or nothing proposition. And the concept of blocking a video that is clearly not stealing your content and then having the audacity to not even check is absurd. Whether it's a small independent musical artist or a gigantic corporation, an animation studio, it's absurd to destroy other people's lives like that and then have no recompense, especially through YouTube. YouTube washed their hands of it when they decided this whole new system, and it shouldn't be that way. YouTube, if they're going to promote the type of content that we do, and they want us to make content because it makes them money, then they need to be the ones standing up for the content creators against those corporations. Say, look, no, that is not what it is. And that's the problem with this whole system. It's been a problem for a long time, and it's getting worse. Now, if it's hurting someone that big, imagine what it does to someone small who can't even come up because of the same system. They're just going to give up. That's why I tell a lot of people to not start. You know, if I hadn't done this for so long, I wouldn't have started doing it. I wouldn't start now. And I don't even do majorly copyrighted stuff as it is on my main two channels. On the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel, that was just for me to have fun. Whether I ever make a dime off of it, I don't know. I just wanted to do something different that didn't fit in with all of the other content. I knew the risk that I was taking. And there's also the reason why I didn't do these type of reviews and music reactions and things like that on my main channel, because it would get that channel struck down and destroyed. And that's the only one I have that makes money. So I isolated the content. If it gets wiped out, then I just call it a wash and be like, well, that sucked. So I have that ability. Other people don't have the ability to just start over new with another channel to continue what they're doing, or in his case, fight for over 30 years to get all of his videos unblocked. And that's assuming that he gets no more blocked on any new content he would create, or any more that they would determine somehow fall into that. He's right. He's being made an example of. This TOEI, if nothing else, if this got TOEI's attention to literally go in and return all of those blocks back, because you could do that on the other end, and I've seen it because I've had to have minor copyright claims. There were somebody borrowed stuff that I had made, borrowed. It wasn't anything crazy, but I can file even I can file a copyright claim on someone else using something I created. I can do that. You know, every YouTuber could, you know, and you can say, oh, nope, I'll release that. That kind of thing. So that's all. I just wanted to talk about that because it is important. And it's not just because I really like Mark. I followed his channel for many years now. I enjoy his really well thought out reviews and analyzations of different types of anime. And then the newest thing that he's done with going back and reading manga and watching animes that he's never checked out before, such as Naruto. Currently, he did Berserk not long ago. He went back and reread Dragon Ball from the start and gave reviews on all those things. The drawing videos, everything. He's an inspiration, realistically, to the kind of content I wish I could make, and I could, but I'd be starting from the bottom and have to figure it out all myself. But the concept of it is incredibly well done, and I felt the same way when it happened to, such as Nostalgia Critic and other people. It's one thing to have certain words, certain topics not be able to be discussed on YouTube lest your channel come under the ban hammer. It's another to be talking about something that is innocuous, something that is loved, and something that you yourself have based a lot of your life decisions around the concepts that have come out of such a silly cartoon, as some people would put it, like Mark. So, stand with Mark, stand with YouTube creators, share his video, not mine, but I just wanted to talk about it. So go over to his video, leave comments on it, hit that like button over on Mark's video. It will be linked down below. And yeah, and if I spread the word a little bit, good. I hope I did. He needs all the support he can get. And Mark, if this video pops up in your own copyright feed, by all means take any and all money from it. I don't care. You deserve it because you're just good like that. And it's just BS what they're doing to you, and in such a small way doing to me. But I'm not losing out, except for people not being able to hear my voice because some corrupt system is so broken that it just eliminates the voices of people just talking about things instead of taking down properly stolen content. That's why you can't always leave it up to a bot. It's either all or nothing, and at this point, nothing is the better option than this new system. It's like YouTube, you need to be held accountable. YouTube should be standing up for its own creators. And TOEI, you can kind of go to hell for what you've done. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding, and it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be loud.